Hello students, welcome back with our third video tutorial. In our last two video tutorials, we were discussing chapter number 13, Symmetry. We dealt with exercise 13.1 and 13.2 respectively, where we understood what is the definition of line of symmetry. We dealt with such sums where we were asked to display line of symmetry or mirrored line, and in some sums we were asked to complete figures along with its line of symmetry in order to balance them. Let's move further with the same chapter number 13, Symmetry, and exercise 13.3. First question of this exercise says, find the number of lines of symmetry in each of the following shapes. How will you check your answer? And these are the shapes. So here we need to tell the number of symmetry lines possible for each of these figures individually. And they even asked us how will we check our answers. So naturally we will check our answers by drawing line of symmetry using paper folding method, which is the easiest one. You are supposed to trace these pictures and then shape cut them, and thereafter you will fold those papers along vertical, horizontal and diagonal lines to check which line of symmetry these figures possess. So let us start with the solution. Solution is, and these are the figures which we have to find solution. So the possible line for figure A are L1, L2, L3, L4. So we'll say there are 4 lines of symmetry for figure A. B part. B part, when we deal, will have only one possible line of symmetry. Reason being, when we try to work with horizontal or diagonal line of symmetry, we will not be able to get a balanced figure on both sides of line of symmetry, which is a key point for any line to become line of symmetry. So for this tree, we have only one line of symmetry. Moving with question number C. Now see, if you try to make vertical line of symmetry, for vertical line of symmetry you need to have a square this side and a square here so that they can overlap. Similarly, if you have a horizontal line of symmetry, you need to have same part here and a same part here, which is not so. So the only possible lines of symmetry for the C part are L1 and L2, and thus we'll say there are only 2 lines of symmetry for this figure. Working with D part, vertical symmetry, horizontal symmetry. You cannot have a diagonal symmetry because this shape is somehow rectangular. Yes, but if this shape would be compressed into square, and if they are asked for that square, you might have diagonal symmetry. Otherwise, you will surely not have diagonal symmetry. So the only possible number of lines symmetry for this D part would be 2. Now you have insect in E part. If you remember, we have worked with human figure in our last exercise, and in that exercise, how did we divided that figure into 2 equal half? Yes, you divided it along its vertical half. So the only possible way to divide this insect into 2 equal half, so that one eye would overlap the other, one wing will overlap the other, and second will overlap the other, and the half of the body would overlap the other half of the body. So this is the only possible line of symmetry for this insect, and thus we'll say this insect has one line of symmetry. F part. This will have vertical line of symmetry, as well as horizontal line of symmetry. There is no line of symmetry other than these possible for this figure. You may try out on your own by paper folding, and thus we'll say there are two lines of symmetry for part F. Now let's work further with this exercise, and the next question for this exercise is complete the following drawings on squared paper. Complete each of them such that the resultant figure has dotted lines as two lines of symmetry. We have this as the figure, and further they are saying, how did you go about completing the picture? That means you have quite a big amount of things to be dealt here. They are asking you first to copy these drawings on a squared paper. Squared paper, I told you before also, is easily available in your old practical copies. You may use. Then you are supposed to copy these figures in your squared paper. So when you copy, be very minutely observant how many lines and these squares are being occupied for drawing these lines. Say this one line is occupying how many squares? 3 squares. So like this you have to be observant and then you trace. And the very important part is to find out where are the lines of symmetry. Two lines of symmetry they are talking about. Let's check. For each figure, these are the lines of symmetry on a screen. Perhaps the last one. So, how would you work? There are two approaches, students, to work with such questions. One is whatever is the figure given to you, that figure you trace. Darken it with HB pencil. Wherever it is, darken it with HB pencil. Quite a good amount of pencil strokes you apply in order to darken it, and then you paper fold along with the line of symmetry. You get somehow traces in a very dim fashion. You will get somehow traces, so you can follow up those traces and then darken them further in order to get balanced figure. Or if you are smart enough, as you people are already, you may count the number of squares each line is spreading across and which is the position. Say suppose from here after 3 squares, and if here after 3 squares, so from this line also after 3 squares here and after 3 squares here, you will form a diagonal line which is spanning across 3 squares. So that smartly you people can work. I have used second approach in calculating how many squares and which square, which stroke is being occupied, whether it's a slanting line or whether after third or fourth block is it a standing line or is it a sleeping line. That line you need to be very observant with, and then you may use that as a guidance in order to draw and complete your balanced figure. And how did you go about completing the picture? Naturally by drawing line of naturally by drawing your dotted line you will be using as the guidelines, and then you'll trace them out. And this is how I have done a question for you. You check out the solution, students. Solution number 2 goes like this. You have red lines are the line of symmetry, and this is how I have counted each block separately. Which side, which blocks, suppose here after one, so this side also after one block only, here one standing line, so here also one standing line. Like this will complete each of this figure smartly, and when you complete you will get a final resultant solution as this, and these are the line of symmetry. Check out, you can note down these solutions. Alright, so I'm moving to the next question. Question number 3. In each figure alongside a letter of alphabet is shown along with a vertical line. Take the mirror image of the letters in the given line. Find which letters look the same after Reflection, that is which letters look the same in the image and which do not. Can you guess why? And you just need to try out for these limited set of letters. Try for O, E, M, N, P, H, L, T, S, V, X. Only for these letters you are going to try. So I'll work with the first part of the solution, saying same after reflection. I'm taking these letters O, M, H, T and V, X. Now I'm drawing vertical line of symmetry, and now I'm going to flip these letters to reflect and see whether they are getting same in the reflection or whether they are different from what they are originally. These are the original letters. Let's check what they are making in their reflection. C, O, M, H, T, they are same before and after reflection. Let us try for V and X. So here are V and X, even they are same after reflection. See, can you see? They are same after reflection. So we'll say O, M, H, T, V, X are the letters which are same after reflection. Let's try the other part which are different after reflection. So these are the letter E and P and L and S out of those range of letters given to us. I'm drawing line of symmetry. Now I will flip these letters to check whether they are same or why they are different. See, if you see, this was the original letters and this is how they are after reflection. So it is clear that these are the letters which are different after reflection. That was all about our chapter number 13. We have already worked with whole numbers. Now we have done with chapter symmetry also. Now you have some holiday homework. Note down these worksheets for your homework. Complete each drawing. The dotted line is the line of symmetry. That means these dotted lines in each of the figures are the line of symmetry. You need to complete the figure along its dotted line to make a figure balanced. I hope you understood. Next is use the two mirror line to complete the rest of these pattern. They have drawn the pattern and you need to use these as the mirror darkened line plus sign, horizontal and vertical lines as the mirror line in order to complete the leftover part of each of these solution. Next, 1 part, 2 part. Now I am taking you to the third part. I have shown you 2 parts again. Now I am taking you to the third last part of this homework worksheet. How many lines of symmetry is possible for the given figure? Also draw them. So these are the figures. You can check out these figures and you are supposed to draw line of symmetry, and not only draw but you even have to tell in the box down here. You need to write which are the how many is the line of symmetry for that particular figure. So draw and then we'll discuss once when we will meet back. Have a nice day and weekend ahead. Thanks for listening. God bless each one of you.